Every product, when you sell it, should have a premium, and then there should be a fast acting bonus for purchasing right away. Nobody implements that. This is how you build a brand that people stay on to. Your email list is a phenomenal asset and will be the most valuable thing you have if you do it right. Pay attention to the segments, what your segments are doing. Know what works for your audience. Know what emails get you the most lift. Here's why you should use it and why I recommend it.
So welcome to Special Ops, your tactical guide at driving your business by action, not words. I'm Travis Gomez, along with my co-host and business partner, Emma Rainville. If you're new here, please be sure to visit specialopspodcast.com and sign up for a free membership, where we provide additional content, resources, checklists, and action guides. I'd like to begin today by sharing a little bit about data and Emma's resistance to basically all things math. And really how this one element can be a complete game changer for businesses today. And so our topic that we're going to dive into is data quality and mastery. Emma, I'd like to start here by actually having you share a little bit about the importance of data quality specifically and how that connected for you, like where it grounded itself, where you realize that.
Sure. Data's been a big part of my role for a long time, although I hated it. Because math. Because I don't math. However, there was a point, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, where we were working with a client who was doing about 15 million at the time. Yeah. And it was a very interesting journey for us and how we were looking at scaling businesses. And so the first thing we did is we went in and we hit profitability. How do we get this thing profitable? So we untwined all of the nonsense that was spending all the money, and there was a lot of it.
There was a lot.
No processes, throw people at it. We've talked about this a whole bunch. And so then it was about, okay, how do we scale the offer? How do we take the product and make the product sell more? Right. We did some small things, some small lifts. And we went from 15 to 50 million. Yeah. In like half a year.
Say that again.
15 to 50 million in about half a year. Yeah. And it was crazy. And then the next year we did 50 million to just about, we were at 100 million run rate. Yeah. It was really interesting because what I saw was an opportunity, and a lot of it was missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. So let me explain that. We had all of these data sets coming in from all these different places. And instead of taking them, they're a freaking crystal ball, man. Like they can show you. If you know how to read it. If you know how to read it. Yeah. If you know what to look for. Right. And so I was in West Palm Beach, and I had an apartment there for a while, and I was just there trying to think of the next thing I was going to do. And I called Richard Parkin, who's been on our team in Shockwave for a long, long time. And I remember talking to him, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do yet. And I actually, at the time, I knew Richard was smart. I didn't know quite how smart he was yet. And so him and I had this whole conversation, and he's like, why don't we just look at what the data says to what they're selling now and like come up with ideas? And I'm like, how are numbers going to give you ideas? So I'm so stupid. So he showed me a little bit. And then that night I was sitting there, and I just remember I was sitting on the balcony, like overlooking the pool, and it just hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like the numbers actually are the map. The numbers tell you everything. The data tells you everything. You don't have to guess. You don't have to think. You don't have to try. Like the data will literally tell you what to do and how to do it. And so from that point on, I became obsessed.
Can we take a step back there before we keep going? And just like, when you say the data tells you what to do. The data tells you what to do. What do you mean? Like, what does that actually look like? Sure. When you're looking at there's a gazillion different ways that the data tells you what to do. From split testing, tells you what works and what doesn't work, what to retest because it's doing well, but you can get it to go better. The data behind how long people stay on your continuity, your subscription retention,
services.
stick rate,
Right. That tells the story. But the stories that I really like are CLTV, which is the metric. I talk about it all the time. But CLTV is the metric that nobody knows how to track, but it's the most important metric in our industry.
Right.
And so everybody has their own way of tracking it. However, if you track it the right way, which is a lot of work.
Who tracks it the right way?
Me.
Besides you?
Don't know.
I don't think anybody.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I know that Dee Braun. Mm-hmm. I've talked to her a lot about this. I've never seen what she does, but I've talked a lot with her about this, and she understands the fundamentals probably as well or better than I do. Okay. But other than her, I don't know anybody.
Because I know I don't know anybody
who's actually doing it. I know people who know how to do it, who understand the concept of it, but I don't. That doesn't mean there aren't, but I don't know anybody who's doing it. So let's talk about how to actually do that. So,
because just a side note, like we spent a lot of time with some different CRM developers and data guys.
A year.
To freaking
I'm going to blow them up. Sticky. We spent a year with Sticky. A year. Every week trying to get their data done. And they just, I don't know. But
they made some improvements on it, but.
They made some improvements, but we met with them. You met with them more than I did. But you met with them for like an hour or two every week for a year. And they're not the only CRM we've met with to try and fix their data. And nobody really cares. So we built our own dashboard.
To calculate that.
Richard built our dashboard so that we could calculate this for customers. And so let's talk to CLTV. So for those of you who don't know, CLTV is customer lifetime value. And we track this over 180 days. Right. I do. I like to look at 6 months. And so here's what most people do. You have a customer come in, and that customer buys your products. Then that customer might buy some upsells, and then that customer may go on continuity. And most people stop tracking there.
Right.
The second set of people go into their other products, and what that customer buys from them on their products for 6 months. Their continuity, because they're getting retargeted, all their other products. And so how much did the customer buy from me? And anybody else who does it stops there. What I don't know of anybody doing that we do, because it's so important, and I'll explain why in a minute, is we track from the moment the customer walked through the door, how much did they spend with us on day one? Mm-hmm. How much did they spend over 6 months on continuity and all of our other products? But then how much did we make from them on our email list on CPA affiliate offers? Right. Because there are times that we get customers that come in and they spend very little with us. They buy our core product for $29 that we paid $55, $60 for. So we lost money on them. And they bought nothing else. But then they go over into our segments and they buy everything. They buy $5,000-$6,000 worth of stuff. And I'm talking about $5,000-$6,000 worth of CPA. Right. So I don't want to get rid of that customer, right? Like I want to keep that customer. I want to keep that traffic source. Although if I'm only looking at the front end,
you miss all that.
I miss all that. Yeah. And so that's how you want to calculate your CLTV. But let's go a little bit further.
Please.
You want customer lifetime value per product. That's one data set.
Yeah. Right.
What does my product bring me? This is going to get dorky, so try and follow.
Okay. So it's the girl who hates math.
I don't like doing the math. Okay. So you track per product. Then you push all that to the side. Now you want to go per affiliate. And the affiliate might be you, by the way. It might be your internal team.
Your own traffic, yeah.
Then you want to go per traffic source from said affiliate. And if it's you running the traffic, you want to go per campaign. Like you want to go that granular. Now, here's something that I learned because, again, like sometimes I have these ideas and I'm super fortunate that we have clients that like love that I have ideas and will let me use their funds to explore if they work. And so this in particular client loved this idea and we did it and it was crazy what it brought to us. So here's what we did. What is the CLTV for the product, for the affiliate, for the campaign, but what's a CLTV if I change the flow of what they see? So we started tracking, there's multiple products.
Like sequence of like what they see in order or what?
No. So if let's say we have product 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Does it change when this traffic source sees number 1 is the first product? Or if I switch it up and they see product 3 first. So if they come in on this product, what happens to the CLTV
Does it change?
if they come in on this product? And guess what?
Yeah, it has an impact.
It has a huge impact. So not only did we figure out what affiliates and what traffic sources brought us the most money over 6 months, we figured out how to take those those customers from that traffic source and those affiliates and present our products to them in the order in which makes them spend the most amount of money.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Is that, I mean,
and it doesn't even sound like it would do that much.
Right.
But I was trapped at 50 million and had no idea how to get to the next level, which I thought was 70. And we went 1,000 miles an hour at a brick wall to 100.
Right. So, I mean, is that kind of like a customer ascension plan? Like, because even though it's product specifically, like we're in different groups or masterminds or different things where there's a community and people kind of take them through an ascension program, like within their like customer journey. And does that work kind of the same way, you think, in products?
I above my pay grade, I think. But it's like, so for us, the way we started tracking it is, how do they come into our ecosphere? And how do we, and different traffic sources, different regions responded differently to different sequences.
Okay.
So for example.
But you have to test that though, right?
Oh yeah, we tested it for a year.
Right.
I keep telling you, we're not marketers, we're not operations, we're data people. We're data people. You take the data and you make the data make things happen. The quality of what you can present to people is so much greater when you understand the data that lives in your CRM, in your Google Analytics, in your Vitalytics, in your whatever you're using, right? Your VWO. It just, there's so much that it's trying to tell you. And one employee that you bring in just to analyze the data will be worth 10 times what you pay them at least. Because they'll be directing you. You don't have to guess anymore. Like if I look at something, I'm like, I wonder what it could be. Let's try moving the buy button. Well, the data will actually tell you people fall off halfway through the VSL before the buy button is done. So what's going on in the VSL at that time? Do we drop the buy button sooner? But also what's going on? Do you remember the nun? We've talked about this quite a bit. We had a nun in a VSL that caused people to drop off. We pulled that half a second clip out and I think 3 or 4 times, it was like a 3 to 4 time increase on conversion. It was really big. It was a freaking millisecond. And it was because someone went into Wistia and looked at where people were falling off in the VSL, and we were trying to test buy buttons.
Right.
The data was right there telling us. It was like that frame came and people hung up. They shut it off. They X'd out. So all we had to do was look at the data to tell us, and that's why it's just so important. So we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent with CLTV, but there's every aspect of your business has data. People don't split test emails. They're not looking at the data for their even when they do an email send. If you send an email on Monday at 3:00 and you send an email on Tuesday at 7, and then you send an email at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, and you tell the offer owner on Monday and Tuesday that their offers didn't work on your list, it may not be because their offer didn't work on your list. It may be because of the time that you sent it. So you want to get high converting offers for your list, and you want to play with them around timing for drops to see
the impact it has.
And so Michael Goff, I'll go ahead and throw his name out there. We like Michael. Michael Goff is a list manager. We know a lot of list managers. We have a duplicate list service ourselves. Michael Goff is a smart dude. He taught me a lot. I really enjoyed my time working with him because he's just a really smart guy, and that dude tests everything. He understands how a list performs and why. And it's all because of the data.
So here's the thing that I struggle with a little bit when I'm thinking about this, and with people who maybe they're digging into data, but they don't necessarily know what they're looking at. Right? Because it's one thing to like, here's all the data, and you're overwhelmed because there's so much information, right? So like, how do you filter through? How do you start? Yeah, how do you start? What do you start looking at? How do you decide like what are some of the most important things to begin to evaluate like
it's all important, dude. Like so that's like asking me which thing that would kill my kids should I start with in protecting my home safety wise. All of it. That's the answer.
But if you're overwhelmed, where do you start?
Same answer. If there are 12 things in my house that could kill my kids, I don't start with the sockets because I'm overwhelmed. I make a list and I take care of it. Mm-hmm. And so let's do that actually. Yeah. Let's create a checklist, a data checklist in order of this is going to be my priority.
Sure.
And you can start working the list, but everybody split tests, at least AB.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody knows how to split test, I guess. I do know some people, I won't name names, although I want to. We'll test someone's copy. This happened 2 years ago. I was really good friends with 2 female copywriters. And this guy who's not the brightest, he hires them to write his copy. And he goes and he changes every single thing about the page. And he tests it against his control. And his control won. Well, of course his control won. You sent this page to people who have already seen this page. So of course this page is going to convert because it's familiar, right? It's going to convert higher.
Sure.
You changed all the images and the images were really stupid too. Like it just didn't go with the product. Like it was nutty.
Cognitive dissonance.
He literally changed everything and then was upset and was like, I don't want to so I had to talk to the girls and get them out of the whole thing. But it's because he didn't know how to split test. So I don't know. You should know how to split test, but
assuming you do.
Tangent. Assuming you do, you start with split testing, and I keep name dropping. Julian Reyes taught me how to split test. I had worked in a company, and this guy was just so dumb. He thought he was really smart, but he loved to do like these crazy multi-variant split tests. Yeah. He used to be like, I'm so unique and I'm the best in the world because I have 32 variant split tests. But then he had like 100 clicks. And so he couldn't even get it was just so dumb. It was so dumb. And I was so confused because I was trying so hard to learn it because I didn't understand it and I didn't know it.
Right.
And so I had gone to Julius. Him and I became friends when I was in Puerto Rico, and I'd gone to him, and I won't be as I won't make the content as adult as Julius made it, but he did teach me some valuable things. And the first thing is you start at the head. And and you split test headlines, buy buttons, leads. So you always start at the front, and then you move your way to the waist, the torso, I guess. I don't know how to do this. Okay, so you move yourself. So the second step is to go to your checkout pages and test your checkout pages, trust icons, interstitial pages, colors. People sometimes sometimes you can put red on certain checkout pages, like ED products, red does fine. But if you have an if you have a health product like a joint, maybe not a joint health, but if you have a health product like calming, like this is going to help your anxiety, and then you've got red on the checkout page. It matters. You wouldn't think that it matters, but it absolutely matters. So testing those things, and
it's a simple color.
Colors that was the dumbest thing in the world to me. I was like, I remember looking at Julius, and he's like, so then you do this and you do it. And he's like, do you understand? And I was like, no, because I don't speak crayon. Like, what are you talking about? That was the dumbest thing ever, but
it does have an impact.
It has a huge impact. We changed we changed a fat burning product from red to blue. It never really sold that well, but it certainly sold better when we changed it from red to blue. Okay, so you start at the front. We're going to call it the front on the sales page, and you test headlines, you test leads, you test buy buttons. Then you go to the checkout pages, you test colors, trust icons, the guarantee. The guarantee is like huge. And then you start going upsell 1, upsell 2, upsell 3. Okay. Depending on how much
how complicated it is. Oh, how much traffic.
How much traffic you has depends on how much split test you can run. That being said, you can only have one big swing per go. So you can't have a massive test. You can have a headline on your front end, and then have a guarantee all changed on your checkout, and then testing each of the upsells with new headlines or whatever, because you won't know how it changed the funnel.
Right.
You have to make small changes over a longer period of time, and true success here takes patience.
Mm-hmm.
And so split testing is the first place that I'd go, and making sure that I'm split testing with industry standard best practices. One of the best people in the world that I know to study this from is Stefan Georgi. He has a ton of content on YouTube. He's the only one that I know that has free content, but it really is good stuff, the way that he talks about testing. If you YouTube him and split testing, you can find all kinds of stuff. Guy's actually pretty decent. And so you check him out. He's decent. He's a decent teacher too, so it's helpful. But split testing is where I would start. The next place I would go is my memberships.
Okay.
Know how your memberships, know where your fall off is. So know your memberships, know your memberships well. It's such important data. How many people take the membership? If you force them in, how many people stay 3 days after month one? Do they, because they're going to refund at a rate of stupid. So how many people stay in one? How many people stay to month 3? How many people stay to month 6, to month 9, to month 12?
Where are they falling off?
Where are they falling off? They're always falling off, but how many are falling off? Where are they falling off?
Are there big cliffs anywhere?
Are there things that we can do to keep them on longer?
Right.
I usually like to do something like this. So every product, when you sell it, should have a premium. So buy the VIP, buy the 3-pack or the 6-pack, buy the platinum version, buy the highest tier. So that's your premium. And then there should be a fast acting bonus for purchasing right away. Nobody implements that into their memberships. So if I'm giving you money every month, Doze, oh my God, the coffee mushroom. This is such a great example of this, Doze. Jack, he lives here in Austin, actually. Brilliant dude. I wanted to have him on the podcast. We decided not to have CEOs. Anyway, that one out of left field. Sorry, guys. So it's 5 o'clock and I'm out of Adderall. Okay, so Joel from Doze, this guy freaking crushed it. So he sells his mushroom coffee. By the way, it's $30 a bag. I drink this shit. I drink 3 bags a month. It's $90. It's so stupid. Do you know what I sacrificed to have $90 coffee? It's nutty. But it's actually decent for you, and it really helps you focus, and it's great for people with ADHD and behavior problems. And so every month for the first 6 months, he gives you something. And he tells you about it all month long in text messages. So the first month, you open up this beautiful box. This beautiful box, and you get this really nice frother. Kyle from ClickBank, me and him have a whole frother thing. But anyway, so I like frothers now, Kyle. So so they give you a frother, they give you your mushroom coffee, they give you this little mushroom magnet, and then it's like this little book and a bunch of nonsense. And then they give you a QR code to share with your friends to get a discount to get this very nice box. Okay. And so the next month, they send you this glass, and it's this really nice glass to make your iced coffee with your frother, and it has these little lips on it so the frother doesn't make coffee spill out everywhere, which is how I spent my whole first month. And then the second month, they give you a container. You saw these in my house today. They say Doze on them. You unscrew the top, and you... and so you keep, instead of keeping everything in a baggie where the powder gets everywhere, you keep it in this really nice container that's also got their brand all over it. And then the following month, you get a Yeti cup or similar with everyday Doze on it.
Okay.
So this goes on for 6 freaking months.
And they're communicating, they're setting the expectation.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
About here's what's coming.
So listen.
Okay.
On month 6, I get this great thing. And so on month 7, I kind of went halfway through the month, and I was so conditioned to finding out what my prize was. I was like, what the hell? I'm not getting a prize this month? What's going on here? So I went online. Listen. I go online, And I notice you get something every single month. It's in your portal. And then you can see that for 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, you don't get anything. And on 12, you get this shitty tote bag. I canceled my membership.
Did you restart it so you can get all the new things again?
I made Gabe restart it under his name.
Yeah.
But I canceled my membership. But this goes to show you when you pay attention to your members and you get them excited. I went from getting 1 bag a month to 2 bags a month to 3 bags a month. So they sent me they always send me freebies also. So they sent me a bunch of freebies. Guess what? My husband tried the freebies. Did you see the other 2 containers on the left side? So Gabe started getting the matcha because Gabe likes the matcha. I like coffee. Gabe gets the matcha. So Gabe gets a bag of matcha. That's another $30 a month. Then they sent him this coconut creamer, which I'm allergic to horrifically. And so I gave it to him. They sent me a coconut creamer. I gave it to him. He put it in his matcha. He loves it. So now he buys a $30 coconut creamer every month. But this is how you build a brand that people stay on to. How much do you think it costs them to send those little tiny samples of matcha and of the creamer?
Versus the lifetime value.
Sure. Because my husband is going to buy their product. I'm going to buy their product forever. Right. I may cancel and restart every 6 months. Because I need my $1 freebie. How nuts is this, by the way? And this is how you treat a membership. And so if people were paying attention, you wouldn't have to do it every month. Right. You could see your biggest fall-offs and provide massive amount of value right before and then right after. You don't want to do right after because they've already canceled. Yeah. You want to do right before, but what have you done for me lately happens when you get charged. So right when they get charged, they need to know what's coming next.
Yep.
And Everyday Doze did a phenomenal job of conditioning me to be excited about getting charged.
At least for 6 months.
Started at 30, went to 90. Yeah, at least for 6 months. I'm just saying.
Which
and I'll
get
by that time, all over again.
You've got a pretty decent habit built up by them, right? For like your use and how often you're getting the product and...
They also send me affiliate offers, and I buy all of them, right? So I'm a consumer, so they lucked out the day they got me on their list. But yeah, it just so membership site that's next because there's a lot of money in the membership side. Then the next data set, and I didn't go over any of the financial stuff, and I won't because we'll do that on a separate podcast because financial data is crazily important, but I want to stick to the marketing data. Yeah. So next thing I want you to do is hop over to your email and understand your email. Your email list is a phenomenal asset, and probably when you exit your business, however it is you exit, will be the most valuable thing you have if you do it right.
I want to just pop in here on the email list because I remember before we ever partnered together, one of the things that
you used to love to do is embarrass other people by calling me over and tricking me into calling them stupid. Yeah, so let's just tell everybody because Travis is a horrible human being and I want everyone to know. He pretends to be Christian. So here's how Travis and I got our start in our relationship. He would trick me because he knew that I have Tourette's and no self-control. So he would get me to come talk to people that were doing really stupid things. Okay. And he would tell me how they were doing stupid things. And then he would get me to call them stupid before I even realized that he was talking about them. It was terrible.
First of all, I did none of those things.
You did that. You absolutely did that. Let's call Justin Beck right now. Let's call Justin Beck right now. He was one of many.
I would simply have clients or contacts that I knew who weren't doing anything with their customers. They weren't emailing them. They were basically hiding. They would sell a product and then hide.
Right.
Okay. And I know that you're missing out on things if you're not treating your customer.
So you couldn't use your words like an adult, and you'd call me over and he'd say, Emma, do you know so-and-so? Oh, yeah. Hey, Emma, let me ask you a question. What do you think? Wouldn't tell me that it was a person. What do you think about someone who sells 100,000 customers a month but doesn't do anything with their email list? And I would say, I think they're probably pretty stupid and they should just give me their email list. And he'd be like, yeah, so Joe here isn't doing that. You do that to me all the time.
More than once, for sure.
All the time. All the time. Every conference. Until we became business partners and then you finally stopped. But yeah, a lot of people are doing things with their email list. But let's go into emails. So let's talk about that. Mm-hmm. The first thing, internal emails, test them.
Yeah.
Some people do, and that's great. Most people do not. Know what works for your audience. Know what emails get you the most lift. And then know what about those emails get it. Like really study it. So if you have 3 emails that do really, really well, find the commonalities between them. Find the tone that people are resonating with. And then go test your affiliate offers. And so when you're sending out other people's offers, a lot of times what you'll see is these people in direct response will go grab the swipe from the other person, which was written by that company who doesn't know your audience, who doesn't know you, who wrote it as a random thing. What you're supposed to do is take that swipe, put it in your voice, and present it to your customers.
In your tone.
As your recommendation in your tone. I say that a lot to our email list. Like, hey, fam, so glad. I never say so glad. That's not who I am as a person at all. But like, hey, fam, I'd like to chat with you today about data. Jim Joe Bob has this great analytics tool that I think would be wonderful for you. At Shockwave, that's me and Travis's operations agency, CO and ops teams. At Shockwave Solutions, we've been using this platform for the last 6 months, and it's helped us get a lift on 3 different clients.
Right.
Here are some bullet points on what it can do for you. Here's why you should use it and why I recommend it. Go forth and prosper, M. Rainville. So you end the email with how you end the email, and it sounds like you, and you've recommended it, and your people are like, cool, I'm going to try this. Emma uses this to get this kind of lift for her clients. We know her clients do well. Let's try it for ourselves. But if you have good evening, I wanted to tell you about a phenomenal tool which will shake the industry at its core. Great fucking copy, by the way. But it's clearly not me recommending it. It's clearly a swipe that I didn't even care enough to edit it. That I didn't even care enough to edit. So if you have someone on your team that can take all of your emails and rewrite them in your voice, and as a recommendation to your customer base and how and why you use it, got to be in integrity with your product. Got to be in integrity with your brand. But if it is, your people are going to buy it at a crazy lift. So start tracking that. And then on the email side, the segments, like pay attention to the segments, what your segments are doing. And so as I'm sure you know, everyone should be segmenting their list from the time that people are buying with what they buy and what their journey is to establish what they're going to give, what you're going to give them. We find ways to ask them questions, to put them in good segments, to get them, we've talked about this in other podcasts, to get them to give us information. It's advantageous for them because they're getting something out of it. So it might be, hey, Travis, we are putting together recipes for the holidays. We did this 2 years ago. We did this, and this was great for what it did to our segmentation. We just wanted to know a few things about you so that we could make sure that you we're giving you recipes that you'll use. First thing we ask is for allergies. That's to convince you that it's actually for you. I didn't even pay attention to that. I didn't even care about that. Probably should have, but I didn't. The next thing I asked was so that we can make sure the ingredients match what you can do socioeconomically. How much money do you earn? Now I know what kind of offers you can afford. What time of the day do you like to eat? Between 4 and 6, between 6 and 8. This tells you a lot about a person, by the way.
Really?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Really?
Do you not think so?
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think about it, but yeah. I mean, like what kind of things does it tell you? So
when you have other data points to point to, so how much they make, what time they eat at night can tell you a lot. Do you have kids? Should I make this kid-friendly foods? Sure. Is an easy one, but what time they eat tells you so much about when to send them emails.
Oh, okay.
If you're eating between 4 and 6 and I send my emails out at 7,
sure,
you're probably down for the day.
Right.
You're not And now I'm at the bottom of the promotion.
Sure.
Side.
Yeah. The next day when they come in.
Right.
Yeah.
There's more to it than just that, but
that's an easy example.
That's an easy example.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. So do you have kids in the home? Is there anyone elderly living with you that we should consider? Is there any reflux? Oh my God, that's my favorite question. There's so much you can sell people with reflux.
Oh yeah.
And so many people have it. But you get the idea.
Right.
And so we did stuff like that regularly. Hey, we're about to make a holiday recipe book. Let me ask you some questions. Hey, we're about to make a spring guide to workouts. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Hey, we about to make just all kinds of stuff.
Right.
The other thing that I would do is I would hit people with, we'd like to send you a t-shirt. This is only good for weight loss, fitness type stuff, but this is just a great one. Can kind of get your juices flowing, how you can allocate the same idea for your own product. But for the fitness brands, when they sign on 2 months in, 60 days in, what's t-shirts? I want to send you a t-shirt. Which t-shirt size? Why do I do that? So 6 months later, when they're still on the continuity, I write them back and I say, hey, I want to send you this t-shirt. What's your t-shirt size? If they were a large and now they're a small, or if they were an extra large and now they're a medium, hey, wow, I just noticed you were freaking extra large last time. Would you get on with our customer service manager? She'd love to hear about your journey. And I just got a video testimonial.
And it cost you a shirt.
And it cost me a shirt, $3.18. Because I shipped it with their continuity product. It didn't even cost me anything
just an extra pick pack.
It just literally went in the same box. Cost me nothing.
Yeah.
So that's the next data set. That is, I think, enough for today. We're going to have the data quality mastery guide, which is, if any of you have looked at our guides, they're not like a 2-3 page ebook.
No, it's a lot of content.
Their manuals is like 110 to 150 pages. This was like 144, I think. And it goes into all kinds of stuff, how to wash your data, how to clean your data is what it's called, how to organize it. There's a massive amount in there. And so I think that it probably makes sense to go through that. And then perhaps we can do something more down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for jumping in with us today. I think that's a wrap for our intel for today. And again, sign up for our free resources at specialopspodcast.com. And now it's your time to put these operation strategies into action in your business. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis. This was fun.